Zambians continue to wait with bated breath as results of the country's presidential election continue to trickle in. Let's now cross live to the election results center in Lusaka, Zambia. That's where our correspondent, Shingai Nyoka, is standing by. Shingai, good afternoon once again. Has there been any results coming in or announced this afternoon?
Well, good afternoon to you, Obrel. Yes, we are here live at the Mulungushi Election Center, where the results have been trickling in at a faster pace than they were yesterday. But they're still only less than halfway through to announcing the final presidential vote. As we speak, the opposition leader Hakainde Hichilema is in closed-door meetings with the Electoral Commission to voice some of his concerns. We had tempers flare yesterday with some of his representatives who are accusing the Commission of deliberately delaying the results. Also here to speak to us, we have another opposition leader. She's the only female presidential candidate in this election. Her name is Edith Nakawi, the president of the Forum for Democracy and Development. Good afternoon to you. Now, the results are trickling in. What is your sense of what is happening? Are you happy with the process so far?
No, we are not happy. When we were doing a pre-election consultation with the Electoral Commission, we did insist that they should transmit results directly from the polling stations. They do have that capacity. And if you go to the back room, some of the results they are getting, they are from polling stations. But there is an introduction of manual work in between. This is the manual work which we are all concerned. And the only true record of the proceedings at any polling station are a form called G12. And yesterday, when you saw tempers flaring around, we were told that some polling stations had not received this form. I raised concern, we all raised concern. Up to this moment, we haven't got a report on whether some of those polling stations where the original proceedings, the primary record of what happened, can be traced. Some of those forms are not available. We've also picked up information that some polling stations, the figures have changed. For example, in Kaputa, a matter which I've already brought to the Electoral Commission, instead of recording 256, there's a record of 196 at a polling station. I mean, figures are bound to be moved when you introduce the human beings in between. And this is why there is so much delay. It is deliberate and it's causing a lot of anxiety. We have, as a party, said to the Electoral Commission, wherever in Africa there is post-election conflict, it is basically the ineptitude of electoral commissions. And I think that this particular Electoral Commission, in the last 20 years, its performance is dismal, and I think that they should take responsibility for the tempers that are flaring around. I think that they've let us down, and we are not happy. I personally, this is the first time that I've taken issue with the Electoral Commission.
But the Observer missions, about 9 of them, held press briefings yesterday in which essentially they declared that this election was free, it was fair, it was credible, in spite of some of the challenges that the Electoral Commission faced. What is your reaction to that decision?
I heard about that at the time they were holding the press conference, the Electoral Commission was announcing results, so I was in this hall. So immediately I went to where they were holding a press briefing, and I said to them, listen, you are too hasty in issuing your verdict on this election. They confessed that they were referring to the pre-election environment. They were still watching the counting process. And I brought the issue of the missing from G12. And I said to them, can you please go back to the Electoral Commission and ask them as to why in Mandevo, in Kabulonga, and a number of places. And this morning I got to learn that at Misoro in Musanzala, the returning officers were changing the figures. They said they took note of my statement and they were going to follow up. There is no other record as a proceedings of what happened at the polling station other than from G12. What we are getting here, which they are giving us in files, is a derivative of what is supposed to have happened. Someone has sat down and reconstituted those figures and transmitted them over. We as a party are saying we are not even signing for those results because it is ironical that in polling stations, in wards where we as an opposition party were able to get up to 6